Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. So, we had a fun night of live streaming Game 1 of Isles, Carolina and Toronto, Boston, but we got some playoff previews we got to nail down here before the next coming playoff series begin. We got Vancouver and Nashville today. So, this could be one of the most unexpected series we've seen this playoffs. I don't think a lot of people really expected for Vancouver and Nashville to face off in the playoffs. I for sure did not. But overall, this could still be a really fun series, despite that unexpectedness of some people not even having either of these teams in the playoffs. So we'll start off with Vancouver, because Vancouver is the better team of the two on paper. They went 50, 23, and 9 for 109 points. They are 6th in the NHL. They are 27, 9, and 5 at home, and they're 23, 14, and 4 on the road. So the Canucks have been a very surprising team this year. Not a lot of people thought that Vancouver was going to be great this year. Not a lot of people whatsoever, but they really kind of proved us wrong in some areas. They scored 209 goals. They scored 223 for a pretty solid difference there. They have a 22.7 power play percentage, which is 10th in the NHL, and a 78.6 penalty kill percentage, which is 20th in the NHL. So, above all, Vancouver's had a really surprising season. Does it exceed their expectations? For sure. Are they overachieving? We won't really know until next year if this was really an overachieving season. But I really do like to think that Vancouver's having an amazing season this year. It's been really fun to watch them. And it's kind of heartwarming to see after all the years of pain and all the years of them not making the playoffs. Even with that bubble playoffs, it's still awesome to see Vancouver playing very well after all those years of struggling. So it's good to see, and hopefully, maybe they can go far, but honestly, I'm not too keen on that. Now, they are playing Nashville. Nashville was a team that a lot of people are overshadowed by the 18-game point streak, but before then, the Predators weren't that great of a team. Nashville is currently 47, 30, and 5 for 99 points. They are 11th in the NHL. They went 23, 16, and 2 at home, and they are 24, 14, and 3 on the road. So the thing is with Nashville is that they were kind of an team prior to that. They were battling with other teams like Arizona, St. Louis, Minnesota, and Calgary for that wild card 2 spot. And prior to that, they weren't looking too great. On February 16th, they lost 9-2 against Dallas. And then they just started winning games. They just would not stop winning after that. And it was an insane momentum shift. Something I really didn't even expect, to be honest with you. But Nashville went on that really insane streak. It solidified themselves as a playoff team. And they've been pretty solid ever since. They have scored 269 goals. They've let in 248. They have a 21.6 power play percentage, which is 16th. They have a 76.9 penalty kill percentage, which is 22nd. So overall, their numbers are pretty average. Amongst all their numbers, they aren't bad, but they're mostly average when you look at the overall just team stats. So when you get into the individual numbers, there are some good players on both teams for sure. Vancouver, though, does feel like they have more firepower. Firepower goes with JT Miller as your leading scorer with 81 games played, 37 goals, 66 assists for 103 points. And then you also have Philip Forsberg with 82 games played, 48 goals, 46 assists for 94 points. So I'd say both sides have been good. I think Miller's been a great player this year, really kind of solved his attitude issues overall, because last year was not a great year for him with a lot of attitude problems when Bruce Boudreau was the coach. Rick Tocchet's definitely fixed a lot of those issues now. So definitely that's good to see. And then Philip Forsberg there too, who is definitely should be a Hart candidate for sure. I don't know. He probably wouldn't win it. He wouldn't be a finalist, but he should get some votes. Because I do think Forsberg has really carried this Nashville Predators team, and it's not being recognized enough. It's not being recognized enough about how Forsberg literally practically put this Predators team on his back for a bit there and literally carried them. It's essentially what Forsberg did. Now you look at your second leading scorers, it's actually 2 defensemen, which makes this perfect. You got Quinn Hughes, 82 games played, 17 goals, 75 assists for 92 points, and Roman Josi with 82 games played, 23 goals, 62 assists for 85 points. So Quinn Hughes looks like the number 1 and clear Norris Trophy winner, as he probably should be. He's been a great defenseman this year. If there's any year where he was going to win the Norris, it should be this year. And then obviously, too, you got Roman Josi, who has been a great, effective Hart Trophy defenseman this year. Not Hart Trophy, Norris Trophy defenseman this year. I think it could come down to between Hughes, Makar, and Josi for the Norris Trophy. So we'll find out in the next couple of weeks if that is actually the case and it comes into fruition, but we shall see. Third in scoring is between Elias Pettersson and Gustav Nyquist. Pettersson with 82 games played, 34 goals, 55 assists for 89 points. And on the other side, you got Gustav Nyquist with 81 games played, 23 goals, 52 assists for 75 points. Pettersson has had a great year. Not a year, I figured he'd do a little bit better this year, but since his contract, he got signed, he kind of cooled off a little bit, which is okay. But Pettersson still playing, having a very good season, should be a guy to watch out for in the playoffs. And then Gustav Nyquist is a guy that was looked at as a kind of a depth player when he signed with Nashville, and now he's a 75-point scorer. Unreal. Simply unreal. He's had an amazing season. Him and Ryan O'Reilly, who we'll get into in a second, have both collectively had awesome seasons. So looking at fourth in scoring, you got Brock Besser for Vancouver. 81 games played, 40 goals, 33 assists for 73 points. And on the other side, you got Ryan O'Reilly with 82 games played, 26 goals, 43 assists for 69 points. Besser's had a career year, 40 goals, something we have not seen from him ever. He didn't even have 30 before this year. Look at him, he's a 40-goal scorer this year. So an impressive year from Besser. O'Reilly, kind of the same boat as Nyquist. Both signed for low money or both 70-point scores. So that shows to me that you shouldn't just take those guys and laugh off with them heading into this year's playoffs. Because I think both of them, Nyquist and O'Reilly, can be great players. And then finally, fifth in scoring, you have Filip Hronek with 81 games played, 5 goals, 43 assists for 40 points, or 48 points. And then you got Tommy Novak with 71 games played, 18 goals, 27 assists for 45 points. So Hronek has been a great pairing defenseman with Quinn Hughes. I think when you're talking about contracts, I know there was a lot of talk around Pettersson, but there should be a lot of talk around Hronek as well, because Hronek was also a big part of why the Canucks defense was kind of fixed this year, essentially. And then Novak, a solid younger player, having a pretty good season for himself, nearly a 20-goal scorer, scoring 50 points. Pretty impressive year from him. So there's a lot of guys on this team, for Nashville especially, that have had like bounce-back seasons or like awesome years. When you look at the deadline acquisitions, Vancouver acquired Elias Lindholm. That was pretty much it. They acquired like a top 6 forward there. I think it really does help. It helps out their top 6 and bolsters it a lot. But definitely, they did a good job there. When you look at Nashville, they got Jason Zucker, who is a good middle-scoring forward, and then Anthony Beauvillier as well, who's also a good middle-scoring forward. So 2 not bad secondary scorers there when you're looking at the Predators. Other guys that I think should be of note for each team, Connor Garland has had a pretty good year so far, scoring at a good pace. I remember his days in Arizona, but he's been much better since then. Nils Höglander, too. I think Höglander's had a bounce-back year. And then Dakota Joshua, too, has been a really good fourth liner. Has put up some pretty good offensive numbers for a fourth-line guy. And then when you're looking at Nashville, you got Luke Evangelista, who's been on our rookie check-ins for the last couple of months. Evangelista has been a great player. Doesn't get a lot of recognition for how good he's been this year. Should definitely get some. And then Ryan McDonagh. McDonagh's had a bounce-back year. Especially playing with Josi. McDonough's numbers have drastically improved. So definitely those are some good things to look at there. In terms of goaltending, you have Thatcher Demko for Vancouver with a 35-14-2 record, a 2.45 goals against average, and a .918 save percentage. His backup is Casey DeSmith. I think Vancouver's had a pretty good goaltending tandem, arguably the best in the league. But Demko has been good this year. He is on LTIR, but I think he will be back for the playoffs, if I'm correct. So that's good to see there. And then DeSmith is a pretty serviceable backup who has played well this year when he's had to. In terms of Nashville, you got Hussein Saros. Saros with a 35-24-5 record, a 2.86 goals against average, and a .906 save percentage. Not the usual numbers we see there from Saros. His backup's Kevin Lankinen, by the way. But not the usual stats we see there from Hussein Saros. Usually we see better numbers from him. But overall, I feel like when it comes playoffs time, he's going to be much better than he was in the regular season. So I think this could be a closer series than people think. Even though Nashville's a wild card team, even though Vancouver won the Pacific, I still think this can be a really close series. The thing is, though, I think I'm taking Nashville in 7. I know people aren't going to like that, but I feel like Vancouver is young. Vancouver does not have a lot of playoff experience. There's a few guys on here who have been a part of some playoff runs, but nothing big. A lot of these guys, if any, were around in that 2020 series where they went to the second round, but that wasn't a whole lot of experience. You just won a playoff round, practically. So that is something that I do want to keep in mind. But I feel like the Predators could win in 7. I feel like the Canucks could win in 7. It could go either way, in my opinion. So let me know your prediction in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate it. We got 2 more of these. They're the Pacific Division matchup, and then the the West 1 Wildcard 2 matchup. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.